welcome back to another video. This is Hell Dragon here, and today we're not going to be talking about the Sacred Shards and the Summon event that's coming up and all this stuff that's been happening. I think today what we'll talk about is we're going to go into here, into the dungeon section, and we're going to talk about the FireKnight. Because the FireKnight is the question I get asked the most, because so many people have so much trouble with him and his shields and this and champions and that I think we'll hop in here. We'll do a battle. We'll show you kind of my team setup, and I'll talk about why I use them. We'll talk about his attacks, his abilities, and then from there we'll go out from the actual battle and we'll talk about the different reasons and speeds and builds of the champions I use and why having certain champions are much better to have than other champions. I mean, obviously right now we're just going to go through the motions. We're just going to kill the waves. We're going to die a bunch or get revived a bunch, and then once we get to the boss, then we'll start talking about his abilities, my abilities, and why I specifically go with this lineup that I have here. So until we get to the boss, I'm going to speed it up and then you have fun. Alright, so we are here at the boss now, and quickly we will go over his skills and his things. Actually, let me go auto for a second so that the boss does his thing. Arbiter's gonna do her thing. That's cool. That's fine. I just wanted him to have his shields up so that we could see. So we're not gonna cover these skills. Every boss has these skills. Every boss has almighty immunity. This boss specifically is specific towards this boss here. So starts the battle with a divine shield. While active, the shield reduces the damage Fyro takes, Fyro being the boss's name, by 80% and prevents Fyro from receiving any debuffs or being affected by other skill effects. The shield cannot be removed by skills that remove debuffs. Each hit Fyro takes decreases the strength of the shield. The shield will be broken when hit enough times. The shield regenerates every turn. If Fyro starts a turn with a shield active, Fyro will attack all enemies one time. The attack will decrease each enemy's max HP. Okay, it doesn't say by how much. I guess it's based off its attack, whatever. Fyro also heals at the start of every turn. The value of the heal and the damage dealt increase according to the strength of the shield at the start of the attack. So basically, more shield counters he has, which this is his shield counter right here. Oops, I did not mean to make him attack. Her attack, whatever. But whatever, it's fine. That was going to happen anyways. So his A1 attacks all enemies, places a 30% decreased speed debuff for 3 turns. That basically puts it on everyone. Then this is his ability that we talked about, his AoE. Attacks all enemy, decreases enemies max HP by 15% of the damage dealt. Then remember, the more shield counter he has, the more damage he deals, so on and so forth. So everything basically stacks the more shield he has. So here, basically the team composition, as you saw with her A1, I was hoping to show it, does a 3-hit. Rosin's A1 does a 3-hit as well, so boom, boom, take down the shield. I have Arbiter in here for a revive for a lure, and as well as a speed boost. So that's off cooldown, or on cooldown, we'll do that. Stag Knight with his 2 hits. Good, here we go. Let's just do a speed boost because I'll need it with a lure. Blink. Let's do some of this. Let's do some of this. Let's just get those debuffs stacked up on him the best we can right now. Decrease attack, no slow speed, whatever. Alright, so he's actually going to get attack. Usually, I never have an issue with him attacking, but then again, Allure never died that entire fight, which is very abnormal. Usually she dies about 2 or 3 times coming up to the boss. So basically, I have a counterattack in here, I have a speed booster, I have champions with multiple hits. Now, it's very imperative that we have specific champions in here for the FireKnight. With my specific build, I cover almost every single basis on keeping his turn meter down. I don't care about heal reduction because I'm not at that stage anymore, but we'll talk about that too. But basically, champions in here that could do enough hits in one cycle of their counterattack to drop their shield. So Allure does 3, Rosin does 3, that's 6, Stagnite does 2, that's 8, Arbiter does 2, that's 10, Martyr does 1, that's 11. So I'm exceeding the threshold of his shield. Also, what I want to cover here is Allure's A1 decreases the turn meter per critical hit. We'll talk about her and her gear when we get out of there. Rosin's good for debuffs, plus everyone can get him. Stagnite is a very important role to have in here along with Allure. Stagnite's A1 does 2 hits and puts a decreased speed up. As you can see if you just pull up the info, we have a 30% decreased speed. And I'll talk about that when we start talking about the champion specifically, why that's so important that you have him in here with Allure. But basically, you want to have a decreased defense, a weakened, decreased attack, decreased speed, and that is a really solid combination with specifically a turn manipulation team like this one. And now, if you're just going for brute force and counterattack, you want to have a heal reduction in here, someone who does heal reduction and can keep it up. There's a lot of different champions out there. Cold Hearts are one of them. Like, if you don't have an Allure, you can put Cold Heart in this situation. Because for me, I have a Reviver, so I could slot her in. Trash piece. But, so, as we saw with that, let's go. So we'll look specifically. Hopefully I don't need to explain Arbiter. She's got one goal in life, and that's to be super fast. 295 speed. I'm not worried about accuracy. I'm just worried about health, keeping her alive. Make sure she doesn't get targeted in the waves. Rosin. I want to touch on Rosin because he is a champion every single person has the capability to get. He's a defense-based champion. Really good kit for every dungeon in the game. And FireKnight is none less important. Because 1, he does a 3 hit on his A1. Super awesome for the FireKnight. On his A2, he does a decreased defense and a weaken at the same time. And as well as his A3 decreases the turn meter by 100% on an AoE. So basically, if you have enough accuracy on him, he will land it. With the exception of weak affinity, so on and so forth. That's a little more advanced, but basically, he has a capability to 100% decrease the turn meter by 100%. So all you have to do is just roll your accuracy against the resistance of landing it. So yeah, and then you don't need to worry about his aura or his arena resistance, whatever. And then we got Martyr. Any counterattack champion can slot this role. It doesn't have to be Martyr because she just does an AoE counterattack. She also does decreased defense in her A1, decreased attack on her A3, which is nice. Also, I have her in there as lead because of this. 33% extra defense because Rosin and don't have Allure built defense. She's more HP built. Oh, here you are. So, Allure, she is absolutely one of the best champions to have in the FireKnight because of this ability right here. Attack 3 times at random. There's only one boss, so it's going to hit 3 times on the boss. Decrease the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. So that's a total of 75% if every single one has a critical hit. So with that being said, yes, you want to build her with 100% crit. Don't worry about building 100%, 250 crit damage. You don't need her to do damage. With the accumulating of everyone around her, damage is could be put out there. It's not an issue. You have everyone mastered up. You have everyone Giant Slayer, War Master. You'll be perfectly fine. We'll go into the artifacts and masteries here in a second for everyone. Temptation, this does a decreased defense. Places sleep on the enemies, so crowd control a little bit. Um, a little bit more damage. That's all she is. But basically, the sole purpose of her in the FireKnight is for her A1. That's faction crypts. Yeah, we don't know about that. So that's what makes her really good. And then Stag Knight, we'll go into him. His A1 does each hit has a 30% chance. Booked out, it's a 50% chance. I'm just missing one book on him. Come on. You don't get that lucky hit on that one, I'm hoping. Well, actually, I want to fully book him out because this is really good for Arena as well. But anyways, 2-hit A1 does a 30% decrease speed debuff on the target. Currently mine's at 40%. His A2 is a AoE decrease defense, decrease attack, really nice, and it allows everyone to increase their accuracy if they fail to put a debuff, which is nice, or if it's resisted, sorry. So he's a really good champion having there. And plus, with FireKnight, we'll go back to the champions. FireKnight 20 is a red boss, so Stag Knight is really good in there for that specific reason. Allure, not so much, and we will cover something which makes having Stag Knight and her together really good for that type of situation. Let's get some free mystery shards. Red dots bug me, just saying. Like, there's nothing I can do about that one. So, gear time. Hopefully we don't need to go over Arbiter. Rosin, he's my clan boss guy. Built super defensey, 3,400 defense, 280 some accuracy. Basically, that's all I need him for. 195 speed. So, yeah, he's nice. He needs a little more defense on him. Obviously, I can swap out some pieces. So, yeah, don't judge my Rosin. He does his job, and he does it well. I can improve him better. But, so, anyways, let's go to Martyr, clan boss champion as well. So, basically, same thing. Lots of defense, lots of accuracy, and decent amount of HP, lots of speed. So, Allure. She's a little bit more of a unique build. So, I have her in 2 accuracy pieces, 2 accuracy sets, 1 speed set, because you want to achieve about 200 speed with her is what I found was the point which makes this run really well. I also have everything in crit rate gloves, HP chest for survivability, speed boots, a lot of accuracy, a lot of speed, crit rate. So basically you want her to be able to survive as long as possible and to crit. So I have her at 123 crit because the gloves, that's the only reason. I mean, I could probably do a little bit better here, but I'm just not going to mess around with it too much. But 299 accuracy, way overkill. You only need about 200 and you'd be fine. 123 crit, almost 200 speed, and try to stack that HP as high as you could get it. And plus, look at that. I could get some more accuracy here. Not that it's needed. Don't plan on taking her in arena. But because with her speed at 200 and Stag Knight placing the 30% decreased speed, as well as Arbiter doing her speed boost on 2 of her moves, let's see, mostly her A3, which does a turn meter fill of 30%. It allows Allure to cycle twice per FireKnight's 1 turn, which gives you the opportunity to land this a lot more. So if you ever do get weak hits on the first run, hopefully you don't get weak hits on the second one, or at least less weak hits, so that way this could go off. So she will permanently keep the turn meter down. Obviously, if you don't get the Allure, Cold Heart could do the same thing with her A3. She also does the heal reduction if they're under poison. She does a poison as well. So there's other options you can have out there, but Allure probably is one of the best champions to have out there. And then any type of champion that has a revive / speed boost, so Gore Grab. Haikatoon doesn't have a revive. there's a few different champions out there that you could do. You could do Cardinal, really, really good champion, but she's a void, so not a lot of people get her because she does the revives all dead allies and then boosts their turn meter to max, so instantly allows them to get a turn. Great champion to have in there if you don't got an arbiter. Like if you got her, definitely put her in there. It allows your allure to cycle her abilities more often with that ability. So really solid champion to have if you could get her. Basically perfect everywhere. So there's a lot of champions out there that have multiple hits that are good. You know, Lightsworn is a great champion to have in the FireKnight because he also does a decreased speed and a decreased attack. And then he does revive on death, increased defense, decreases turn meter by 10%. Not as good as Allures, but still decent on a 3 hit. Now, I used to use him. Makes for a little bit of a slower run, but still usable. Talia's got a 3 hit A1. Good champion to bring in there. There's a lot of options out there, but the specific team I have is more geared to the free-to-play friendly aspect because it has, well, look at the concept here. Arbiter, a revive slash speed boost. If you have Apothecary, put him in there. He has a speed boost 3 hit, as well as he can do heals real quick to help keep alert up. Rosin, everyone could get him. Counterattack, 90% of the people out there have them. Some people don't, obviously, so you'd have to sub in something else, multiple hit champion, another speed booster, whatever the case is. Alert a little bit harder to get, but she's a regular epic. Stagnite, I know a lot of people have them because of the battle pass. Then again, not a whole lot of people don't have them because a lot of people joined after the battle pass, so they just fixed his drop rate in the shards, so you can actually start pulling him again finally. After, 3 months later, he wasn't in the pool, no one could pull him. Ironically enough, right as soon as they fixed it, I ended up pulling a second one right here, so it was just like, boom, instant. But you have him, definitely a solid champ to put in there. You have other champions to bring in there. You could have Cold Hearts, you could have Steel Skulls, 2 hit A1, Poison ability. Poisons work really well on the clan boss. Or not, well, yes, it works really well on the clan boss, but on FireKnight. Then, if you're struggling through waves, bringing an Umbral Enchantress in there for wave clear, Thanasil in there for wave survivability. There's a lot of good. Tyrell, if you don't have Rosin yet, bring Tyrell in there. He is a really good choice to bring in for progression-wise for the FireKnight. He's not so good on FireKnight 20 because he's a weak affinity, but just because of his kit. He does have a 2-hit decreased attack, decreased defense on an AoE. Also, he does decrease the turn meter by 50% on his A3, which is a really nice ability to have to pair with someone else. Another really good champion to have for progression-wise. Aethel, really good for FireKnight. Build her a little bit more tanky instead of attack. 3 hit, good to go, weaken, all that good stuff. Kale, no, never mind. He's not a good one to bring in there. You have a lot of good. Now, Armiger, we will discuss him. I know there's been a lot of videos about this guy out there. A really, really solid champ to bring in on the FireKnight because he's a defense-based champion. You could really make him tanky. Well, his A1 decreases turn meter by 30% on a 1 hit. Damage is inflicted, but damage inflicted is proportional defense. And then his A2 does damage based off enemies and max HP, so it does a lot of damage, like half the amount of damage that a Royal Guard would do because he's an uncommon. They scale him down a lot more, but he still does a decent amount of damage for helping kill the FireKnight relatively quickly. I don't have him built up yet. Eventually, one day I'll build him to showcase him and all that fun stuff, but as of currently right now, I'll just talk about him, tell you how to do it. Oh yeah, masteries. We'll talk about the masteries real quick. So, Allure, you want to have everyone with Giant Slayer, War Master for the DPS of the boss. You're just going to go with your general Crit rate, crit damage. I was playing with Shield Breaker a little bit, see if I could get squeeze in a little bit more damage while his shield is up. Lifesteal, Life Drinker for the lifesteal ability because she is not in lifesteal, and there's really not a whole lot of heals in the team, except for Arbiter, which happens on a 4-turn cooldown, and only if she is under 50%. Down to bring it down because it targets to be higher max HP. Kill streak, obviously, just to get to Giant Slayer. But every champion you want to have with Giant Slayer or War Master for the extra DPS. They're generally all going to be looking the same, except for FireKnight. I have him built specifically for Arena, so while waiting for him to be booked. But yeah, I have him down accuracy and defense tree. As you saw, he just doesn't die. He also has the counterattack, retribution, deterrence, a ton of accuracy. If we look here, 253 accuracy, and still could be improved, obviously. But, you know, he's got 181 speed, 253 accuracy, ton of HP, so that way he'll survive, decent amount of defense. We got Rosin all the way down, accuracy, Giant Slayer because Clan Boss build. Arbiter, almost done. I have it built for Arena, obviously, so lasting gifts down to retributions. I'm just not sure if I'm going to go down resistance side or if I'm actually going to go down timing intervention, something like that. I'm still considering. I don't need her final mastery yet, but I think I might just go resistance, get that player power up or that champion power up, get my arena power up, just look fancy. That's all it is. Plus resistance isn't too bad actually, so that way she can't get stunned. She could do her stuff. What we talked about, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Martyr, Clan Boss. So, yep. There we go. Excuse me. But yeah, that's general idea. Let's try running a. Since we saw the general idea of the FireKnight team, what you want to have, let's go ahead and do a dungeon at FireKnight 16 using not Arbiter, because if you're farming 16, you won't have Arbiter. You will have Gore Grab. You could have a Gore Grab. Let's see. Let's go by rank. Let's go by filter. Make sure we have all our 6 stars out here. Let's see. Who do I want to do? Because Allure, FireKnight, Rosin are going to be the key components here. Basically, whoever we fill in here is just great. Heck with it. We'll do something like this. Yeah, let's do something like this. Gotta just make sure 16 we get those paragons down, otherwise it's going to be a living nightmare with Allure and him with his unkillable up non-stop. Like basically Allure would drop his turn meter and he's gonna sit with a permanent unkillable until Rosin or Gore Grab removes it. Sometimes it can take a minute, sometimes it can be immediately, or sometimes it can take 5 minutes. I've had it always, so. See, here we'll get to see the fact that Lure's gonna die, Gore Grabs keep reviving, Cold Heart might die, hopefully not. You know, keep these turn meters down, DPS goes from everyone. A relatively smooth run, you know. Now this is where it's gonna matter the most. Got a lot of different attacks out here. Multiple hitting A1s. Now we just need to get the slow speed up and we'll be rocking and rolling. There we go, slow speed is up. Decrease meter is decreased. Boss will not go now at this point. Between Rosin, between Cold Heart, between Allure, you're going to be set and just sit back, enjoy the show. And if he does go, you got the heal reduction up, so he cannot heal between his waves. And then Cold Heart for DPS. Look at that. Just chunked his health away. You know, a minute 50-second run. It's really not a bad run, you know. Minute 47, still at stage 16, really good. Not a bad run. I mean, and this is obviously using rosin, but if you don't have rosin, squeaky chair. If you do not have rosin, hopefully this is a very good incentive for you to build him because he's a beast at everything. What else does it really cover from? Oh, there is one star appearance that I want to show in here with champions. I don't have them here. I have them as a level 60 on a different account. Really nice champion if you do not have a counterattack. And come down here to the dwarves, come down here to the rares, and we look at Runic Warder. Not very good at FireKnight 20, but he is absolutely one of the best champions to have as progression wise, because one, his A1 does a 2-hit, his A2 does a 2-hit with a decreased attack, and his A3 does a reflect damage on everyone and a 7.5 continuous heal. So he provides those heals and he provides a reflect damage that allows them. So basically how reflect works is whenever something hits a champion with reflect on them, it does an immediate hit back based off the damage. So 15% of the damage that the champion took gets sent back to the attacker and counts as a hit. So what that means is if your entire team has reflect on and the FireKnight goes, your entire team is doing 15% of the damage he did back to him, which is going to do 5 immediate hits. So that way you have less of a shield to deal with for the rest of your champions, which makes it a heck of a lot easier for running those cold heart teams, those allure teams, rosin teams, or stagnite teams, so that way you could decrease turn meter, decrease speed, and all that fun stuff. So if you got him, keep him around, think about using him. If you're stuck on a specific FireKnight, think about leveling up. He's an HP champion. All his skills are based off HP. Really strong HP based stat. So you could build him super tanky so he doesn't die. And then he just provides the extra little bit of heals, and that reflect damage is going to be really, really nice to have in there as well. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Expect that. He just does a lot of support utility stuff. There's other champions out there. There's Runic Warder. He's a rare. You've got coming down here to the demons. Yeah. Demon spawns. You've got the Fellhound. He does the reflect damage as well. He's a void. Rare. Relatively easy to get. You come up here to the orcs. You've got Terror Beast. He does a reflect damage on all allies for 3 turns. Really good. Everything else is like whatever, but does stun. It helps with wave clear. You can provide the HP boost, which is nice. I know there's one more out there somewhere. It has reflect damage. Who was it? Whatever the case is, there's about 4 or 5 reflect damage AoE reflectors out there. There's only 3 counterattackers, so if you don't have counterattack, think about using reflect. If you don't have reflect, just think about doing as fast as possible. Just make your teams just super quick, so that way they can cycle faster. Like doing the whole allure at 200 speed, stagnite at with his decreased speed. There's other champions out there do decreased speed. Stagnite's not the only one, so. Let's see. I mean, I know Royal Guard does. Top of my head, I can't think of any others that really are good for points and decreased speed, but just know that there's plenty of them out there. You just gotta keep an eye out for them. Good debuffs to have in there. Decreased attack, decreased defense, the weaken, heal reduction, and decreased speed are probably the ones you want to shoot for. If you want to do damage, poison's good against them too. But with that being said, that basically covers the basics of FireKnight. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that button, that subscribe button, hit that bell, so that way you get notified when I do my next video, post it live. I stream every day at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So basically, whenever the coming to dungeons. So whenever this resets, whenever you see the timer resets on these potion keeps, that's when I go live. I have a schedule on my stream, same name, Helix Dragon, that posts what days I stream. It's not every day yet because of work schedule. When we get it figured out, then it'll be every day again. It used to be. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Anything you want to add on, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe, and if you want to get better information, stop by my stream. I help out a lot there. Once again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.